Hello, welcome to the Fire Damage Templar Eye of Reckoning Permanent Spinning Minimalist Build Leveling Guide. This is the thing at level 25. It's in a fresh save slot, which meant there was nothing in this save. It's as if I was a new player starting the game from scratch. What I'll quickly show you is what it looks like at level 25, and then we'll wind time back to when it was level 1 and do a complete leveling guide from 1 to 25. Is what he looks like now. Riftclaw Slicer is essential for converting fire damage on Eye of Reckoning. Everything else is pretty much just stuff that dropped. I got 2 of those drop, that's pretty good. Farm that from the Cowboys. I got one of them drop almost straight away. Legendary Leovinus ring, very easy to get. I'll show you how to get that round about level 20ish when I've gone into Forgotten Gods. Calamity's the default relic. As soon as you unlock the blacksmith, you can get that. It's a level 18 item, does fire damage and a bunch of stuff. It's pretty good. Attributes, I put 12 into physique, but before I did that I put 12 into spirit to make up for any shortfall in energy while I was casting a bunch of stuff. And I've played this character for 2 hours and 35 minutes. So it's taken 2 hours and 35 minutes on a fresh start to get to level 25 and get the gear item that you need to make the build work properly with just that one attack skill. Arcanist, I put a point in Iskandra's, maxed out in a focus, and I stopped there. Arguably I could have stopped there, but I put a few more points in just to get a bit more spirit on the go. Oathkeeper, as soon as I got to that point with Arcanist with that maxed out, I think the reason was I was putting points in the mastery bar while I was putting points in that, so I got to there. Once I got that sorted, I switched to Oathkeeper, and then every level up after that, it's not particularly exciting, but I just put points in the mastery bar till I got to Eye of Reckoning, and that was round about, well, a couple of levels before I went into Forgotten Gods and got the Riftclaw Slicer, but I equipped that skill, started using it a bit, and after putting a few points in that, got the mastery up to 40, because you can max that out without increasing the amount of energy that the main skill uses. As with all these things, if that's all you need, you know the game well enough to jump in and do that. You don't need to watch the rest of the video. If you're a new player and you want to know how to get to this point, stay tuned. Here we go. First of all, I created a fresh start by renaming the save folder, so there's nothing in here, there's no characters, there's nothing in stash, there's no learned blueprints. Create my Fire Temple Pilot character, and I get in here. Most of the time I'll have the video running at ×2 just to speed the whole process up, so you haven't got to sit through hours and hours of this nonsense. Grab the first quest, run up here, get the lore note, get yourself 50 points closer to your first level up. Do that on every character. What I'm going to do on this character is level it in a way that I do not have to respec skill points. First 12 points or so I'm going to put into spirit, and I'm going to grab Inner Focus and put a point in Iskandra's. Remember, Iskandra's is a toggle skill. You've got to put it on the skill bar and turn it on so it's active, and just use whatever early weapons you get. I'm going to run up here and get Francis's gun. The reason I'm going to get Francis's gun is Francis's gun does fire damage, and ultimately the Fire Eye of Reckoning skill will do fire damage. Then from level 5 on, hopefully I'll get a Searing Ember drop. I mean, I do get a Searing Ember drop. Spoiler, that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be maxing out Inner Focus, spamming the Searing Ember skill. It's all fire damage. So all the buffs, all the gear, all the devotions that will be buffing fire damage, I won't have to respec any of that when I switch into Fire Eye of Reckoning round about level 20. So at the moment what I'm doing is just running around. I've turned off white items now, leveling up, pointing to spirit again at level 3. And what I'm going to do now is raise the mastery while putting points into Inner Focus. I want to get Inner Focus maxed out so that when I'm spamming the Searing Ember attack skill, and later on when I'm holding down Eye of Reckoning and just spinning around, I will not have any energy issues. Drop that boss, get him out of the way. Just pick gear that looks like it's going to be beneficial. At the moment any gear is going to be beneficial because your starting gear is just garbage. A couple more lore notes in here, grab them. Leg it across the bridge. What I'll do up here, because I'm going to come back and rescue the guy in the house, I'll put a rift down in a sec after doing this level up, or even before. go up there. Points in there, points in there. So yeah, Mastery Barn in a focus. Go back to the rift I put down. Saved me about 2 seconds, didn't it? Get over here and rescue this guy. Once I've rescued this guy, I'll go back to the lower crossing rift. Head on up to kill the reanimator. Francis's gun's pretty good. And with the points in Arcanist, buffing Spirit, Spirit buffs fire damage. So it's all good. And it will do for now. Because I'm hoping for a Searing Ember to drop. Don't get one for a while, but it's a level 5 item anyway. So even if it dropped really early, you can't use it to level 5. And the Fire Blast skill that you get from the Searing Ember component is really powerful. And early on, it will be much more powerful than your low-level skills. It really will. And I took a Battle Mage character using the Searing Ember as the main attack skill up to level 75 before I swapped it out, because it pulls in, the Searing Ember attack skill pulls in weapon damage. So as long as you keep upgrading your weapon to a better weapon and buffing your weapon damage, the Searing Ember attack goes up as well. Point into Spirit, point in the Mastery, alright, 2 points in the Mastery, 1 point in a focus. Make sure you collect ether crystals on the way up here, because you need 1 for the shrine and you'll need 4 for the quest in a bit when you go back to town. That will give you an extra skill point. Activate the shrine. You'll have an ether crystal in your inventory by then. Choose that green node because you're going to go and get Scholar's Light, the candle, as the first thing, and then Spider as the second constellation. That's the end of the reanimator fight. Didn't recall, well, I didn't include the whole of it because it was pretty boring. I was just standing there shooting him for ages. Damage will rocket up once I get a Searing Ember. Yeah, and if he drops his skull, use it as an offhand because it buffs fire damage. It'll be the best thing you'll get for a while. Level 6. Spirit. How many points? 2 points in a Mastery, 1 point in a focus. It's always a good thing to do. And as soon as I've maxed in a focus out, I'll hit level 10. I'll start putting points in Oathkeeper. Talk to all these people around here after you talk to Bourbon. Go in here. This is where you hand over the 4 ether crystals and get your skill point. There it is. Put it in the Mastery. That's the guy you rescued just now up by Lower Crossing. Gets you up to level 7. Point in Spirit. And I'm going to work on maxing out in a focus now. As soon as I've maxed out in a focus, it will kind of coincide with level 10. That was a totem. I get a massive amount of XP from this. Level 8. Spirit. Pump that up. Yeah, and that totem gave me so much XP, I was almost level 9 straight away. Didn't have to kill much stuff to get to level 9 after that point in Spirit. That's maxed out. I'm just hanging on to that point now. And I get to level 10. Dump those points into Oathkeeper Mastery Bar. And from level 10 until however long it takes up to Eye of Reckoning, all these points now from the next umpteen level ups are going to go into Oathkeeper. This is where I get the Searing Ember out of this crate. So I come into this cave. It's just a random item. You should get it. You should get a few. You'll get them anywhere. As soon as you get that, as soon as you get the Searing Ember, as long as you're level 5 or over, stick it on your weapon and then replace your default attack with Fire Blast, that thing there. And then watch this. This is crazy. It's a level 5 component, but it does area damage. It does heavy single target damage if you shoot people in the face with it. It's just really good. And I use that now all the way through. That's my attack skill until I get Eye of Reckoning. And because it's fire damage, like I said, all the buffs, all the devotions, all the gear that will buff it do not have to be respec'd. And what it means is you haven't got to put points into some random Arcanist skill that you might not like and then respec it later, which costs you money. You haven't got to respec anything with this. All the points you put into the masteries stay as they are. So that's a massive benefit. Right, I'm level 10, so what I'll do now, when I get a moment to breathe, after I've had all this fun killing these slurs, is stick a point in spirit, grab Oathkeeper. See, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that's sorted now. So I'll grab Oathkeeper and I'm just going to rush up to Eye of Reckoning. So all the next level ups up to the point we get to Eye of Reckoning is just going to be points in that Oathkeeper mastery bar. It's dead straightforward, dead simple. Run up here is another totem. There's a burning guy. I mean, fire damage guys are resistant to fire generally, so it'd take a bit longer to kill, but it's not exactly difficult. Take him out, grab this stuff, hit level 11. Yeah, I'm still putting points in spirit. I think I've got 12 in there, and then, yeah, Oathkeeper mastery bar. Get this shrine. And once I clear this shrine, I will start putting points into that Scholar's Light thing. There you go. Because I need the greens. I will take the points out of that much later on. But for now, those greens from there, there's 4 from that, 6 from Spider, gives you the 10 you want to get to the Magi, whatever constellation. That's Negan or Negus or whatever his name is, and there's Julius. It's Negan in it, and there's Julius. Those are the targets for the quest, where the guy wants you to kill 3 enemies. Already did Pharos or Rotted a while back. My inventory was full at this point, so I walked to town, came back, picked up Karos's bone. That's quite a nice item. You get like a damage buff, and you get this pet thing that spawns and attacks. It's fine in the short term. There's Milton Hart. He's a quest target. Take him out. Eventually. He does fire damage, but he didn't last very long. Yeah, I can't overstress it. That Searing Ember component is just really good. The damage skill on that is very good. And if you're constantly buffing fire damage, it will just get stronger and stronger. Nip down here, go and kill Viloth. Yeah, work through here, work through the Convict's Tunnel. Kill as much stuff as you can be bothered to kill. Hit level 12, point in spirit. And it's pretty... it might feel boring to be putting points into that mastery bar, but you do not need to be putting points anywhere else. Here's the Viloth fight. Taking him out with Fire Blast. If you look at the energy while I'm shooting that Fire Blast thing out, it hardly runs out and it comes back really quickly. Because of those points in Spirit attribute and because I've got Inner Focus maxed out, it's easily covering the energy use of that skill. And then later on it easily covers the energy use of Eye of Reckoning. You cash this in, you get an extra inventory bag. So you've now got your main inventory, you've got an extra inventory bag. You've done all the quests around here, so the next thing Bourbon will say is nip up to Burrwitch Village. There's the lady that gives you the Milton Hart quest, level 13. She gives you that. If it's better than what you've got, use it. But I tend to be equipping gear that does energy regen. Belt and Brace's approach to energy regen points in that. I think at level 13 that was the last point I put into spirit for now. I think from level 14 onwards I put the points into physique. I think so. We'll find out in a sec. I've got a quest to collect Slith necklaces. What I do here is I go and open up the next rift before I go back and cash that quest in. Go back to Wightmire, cash a quest in. And there we go. And you get a decent ring. Again, it might be better than the stuff you've got. And it was. So I used it. Back in here. Leg it through the flooded passage. There's a shrine in here and there's a whole load of slith to kill and there's a boss and some spiders. And level 14. As a milestone, level 14, be aware that the medals that you can equip tend to start dropping with level 14 on them. So if you've got one in inventory, you might have to go and equip it. Or otherwise, the next one you automatically loot will just equip itself. There's that shrine done. What I'm going to do now, because I've got the 3 points that I needed to complete Scholar's Light, is immediately go back to town, reclaim the point, because all these low-level tier 1 constellations are self-supporting, so as soon as you complete it, it's got the green it needed. So I put that point into Spider to start Spider off. You don't have to do that, but I recommend doing it. for the cost of whatever it was, 25 iron bits or something and 1 ether crystal. And there isn't going to be much more, well, there'll be no more devotion respecking now for a hell of a long time. And like I said, there's no skill respecking. So you can afford to do that. Grab the rift, read the lore note, talk to Duncan. You get a choice as to whether to recruit Angrim or Duncan. Now, I'd say get Duncan. He's got a decent fire damage pistol, which you won't need. But if you want to get Angrim, get Angrim. It's not going to be a mistake. Whichever one of those blacksmiths you choose to rescue is not a mistake. I just went up and got the shrine first before I did anything else. Because usually what I do is get the blacksmith and then go and get the shrine. But I thought, oh, just go and get the shrine, get that going. Get that pointing to, I think it's Spider's left leg. Or leftmost leg. There you go. I think it's got a bit of spirit and a bit of offensive ability. Go back. Go and find Angrim. Kill stuff on the way. I mean, you can watch this and you can see that fire blast is just wrecking everything. I've also got a gear item that puts an elemental seal down on attacks. That's what that elemental seal on the ground is. That's not a mastery skill or from a devotion or anything. That's from a piece of gear. Those blue circles that appear on the ground. Hello, Duncan wants it. Have a great day. We'll save the world together. So you go back to Burrwitch Village, Burrwitch Outskirts Rift. Hello, Duncan. Then immediately map back to town. Run into town. Duncan will be there waiting. Talk to him. And you've completed that quest and you can now do stuff. There's nothing you can really create yet. The next thing it's useful, level 15. I think you can do some 15 stuff, but it's not really worth wasting your money on it. Yeah, I did a point in physique, didn't I? Oathkeeper Mastery Bar. At level 18, you get the Calamity Relic. Calamity Relic's default relic, so as soon as you get either of the blacksmiths, you'll be able to craft a Calamity Relic. You haven't got to find a blueprint for it or anything. And that Calamity Relic will carry you until, well, on the higher level version of this that I'm playing, I'm running around, I'm like halfway through the level 60s, and I think I'm still using Calamity. Didn't bother changing anything yet. There you go, point in physique, mastery bar up. It's getting very, very close to Eye of Reckoning now. It'll take long to get there. Smack these boys with Fire Blast as soon as they spawn. I think there's one fire one that takes a bit of killing. Where is he? Yeah, there he is, look. The fire enemies do take a bit of killing, but it all works out well in the end. Take them out, kill those heroes. And what you can do now, you nip up here, just on the right, in this house. Go on, get up there. Just on the right in this house here. That lectern thing hasn't got a lore note on it, it's got cultist orders. That's the thing that triggers the Dureni quest. What I do is go back and talk to Dureni, turn him hostile and kill him. Because you get a guaranteed Blooded Chthon and you get some decent rep. That's just him saying go and kill Warden Krieg, and I'll say yeah, alright. Because the Dureni quest's active, I just go and put the cultist orders in my personal stash so I can use them in Elite and Ultimate without having to go up to Burrwitch Village to activate the quest. You don't have to do that. There you go. Hello Dureni, you're a bit of a prat. Have some fireball in your face. He's down. So what you get now, you get a load of DC rep and you get a Blooded Chthon. Ta-da! And Blooded Chthon's a crafting item you can use for some relics. I think it's not used for Calamity, is it? I can make a Calamity anyway because it uses brain matter that I must have got from something from a totem. So I'll craft that and stick it in stash. Oh yeah, I'm friendly. When you get friendly rep, you can get that fabric quest. Here's the fabric quest. This is sort of northwestish part of the map. Up by the docks. There's 3 random boxes that have got fabric in that she wants you to get. So you go and collect that, take it back, hand it in. Yeah, I had to detour. It's to do with block paths. I'm trying to get up to the Burrwitch Estates, but due to a block path I had to come through here, but that's alright. Level 17, point in physique, and I think what I did was I looked at that Eye of Reckoning and thought, don't know, stick a point in that, because I've got a gun, so it's not going to work. So it's not a lot of point choosing it yet. It'll only work with a melee weapon. So the trick is you go back to the blacksmith or whatever and get a melee weapon. Yeah, I put a rift down here, then I go down and get the next world rift and then map back to the one I put down. Again, you don't have to do that, but it's just kind of the way I do it. Take these boys out. Shrine cleansed, have a great day. Point and spider. Just, yeah, it doesn't matter what order you do those legs. Just do them in a random order, doesn't matter. You get them complete eventually. Get in here, talk to Darlet. That's the quest to rescue Kasparov's assistant. Go back down here. Look for fire damage. And he crafts that thing, that fire implement thing. So make yourself one of them or buy a fire item from the shop. It doesn't really matter, but look at that. That turned out quite well. Notice Eye of Reckoning is greyed out, and as soon as I equip that I can use it. Stick a Searing Ember on there just for fun. Because I'm going to be using Searing Ember for a bit while I level Eye of Reckoning up. Once Eye of Reckoning is massively overpowered, I don't need Searing Ember anymore. But yeah, you can spin around constantly without using energy with a low level Eye of Reckoning. Right, all we've got to do now, we're in the Warden's Cellar. Getting close to Krieg. There's a totem in here, you can see it on the mini-map. I'll go and have a go at that. Take that out. Because you get a bunch of XP from that. And occasionally you'll get something halfway decent drop. Plus the totems have got a good chance to drop blueprints. And it's a fresh save, so I've not got any of the droppable blueprints yet. Cut most of the totem fight out because it went on for a bit. Level 18. I can equip that Calamity Relic now. Let's see if I remember. That's quite amazing for me. Or did I? I'm hoping I remembered. Yeah, I put some points in Eye of Reckoning. And there it is. Yeah, level 18, stick your Calamity Relic in. I mean, assuming you had a Tainted Brain Matter drop to craft one. If you don't get a Tainted Brain Matter on the way to Krieg, you kind of always get one out of the gold chest after you kill Krieg. I think it comes out of the gold chest. Underground Transit. Here's the last, well, sort of technically the last Act 1 shrine. There's one over in Eastmarsh, but I don't call that an Act 1 shrine because that area is like level 30 plus. There you go. So I'm one away from completing Spider. This is where Eye of Reckoning starting to get decent. It's not even that many points in there, and it's already getting decent for damage. Level 19. Come on, John, remember to put those points in. That's what people want to see. Attribute, physique. Yeah, I'm going to keep raising that mastery bar now. Because I've got to get up to the second node of Eye of Reckoning, and I've also got to get up to Guardians of Empyrean. Level 20 during the Krieg fight. Of course, because I'm casual as heck, I'll do the point allocation while I'm running round. Build's not exactly optimised at the moment. This fight went okay. I've had worse Krieg fights. The thing is, he's just a minor obstacle, a stepping stone on the way to getting the Riftclaw Slicer, which is the weapon that will convert 100% physical damage to fire damage on Eye of Reckoning. And the only way to get that is to get into Forgotten Gods area, open up a weird rift area and farm the heck out of it. And the only way you can get into that, I mean, if you've got a merit you can go in there, but you can't get to the area without the quest, so you've got to kill Krieg even if you've got a merit. So there you go. So as soon as he says You've done that. Talk to Mornay. Don't talk to Mornay. Come and talk to this chappie out here. Nip across into Forgotten Gods area. Go and open the rift. I always run into this little hidden area. I think most people probably do once they know it's there. Get stuck on the scenery. Get the totally normal shield. It's useless for this build. But it's purple, so what the heck. Yeah, lazily map back. Take this quest. And then while you're here, run around and pick the lore notes up. I didn't record. Well, I edited out the footage of me picking all the lore notes up. I picked those two up. It's not exactly thrilling. Talk to the person on the left. They will initiate this trial. Just spin around. See, Eye of Reckoning's doing well already. It's only got a few points in it, but look at it go. You can hit him with the Searing Ember skill if you fancy it. Go back to the guy that gave you the quest, say, yeah, I did it, and then immediately run across to the other side and join Bismail. Don't even think about it. Join Bismail, because that's what you need to do to open the rift to get the Riftclaw Slicer. He will say, go and get Blood of the Watchers. For now, if you get their Vanish skill, I don't like it. I mean, it's alright. I like the Drieg one, but you've got to wait until you're friendly with Drieg, and you will be friendly with Drieg quite quickly, because all these factions around here level up once you start killing eldritch monsters. So that goes on your medal. I've now got a Vanish skill, which I'll start using. Get your first rift. It's just head east. That's a Vanish. Level 21. Pick up a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so once you get out of the Conclave, the door will open as soon as you've got that first quest. Just head east. There's 2 rifts you've got to unlock before you get to the Temple of Osyr. Temple of Osyr is where the quest targets for that Blood of the Watchers quest spawn. So you get through here. Here's the Temple of Osyr rift. Before you go into the temple, follow the path I'm taking. I've left all this footage in. There's a hidden area with the shrine. I like to come up here and get that shrine before I move on. And by now, Eye of Reckoning it's alright. I mean, look at it. It seems to be fine. You can occasionally use Searing Ember if you feel like it, but get used to using your spinning attack. Because that's the whole point of the build, got to be honest. That's why we're here. Use the shrine in the hidden area. Activate that. Spider's finished. Now that Magi, whatever thing, you want to do that next, and you want to rush up to the skill, get the skill activated and attach it to Eye of Reckoning as soon as you can. Get a Leovinus ring, that's always there. In normal, elite and ultimate, there's always one of them, and it will be definitely better than at least one of the rings that you've got, so stick it on. It's got high elemental resistance on it, and it's got a damage buff, and it gives you plus 3% XP. Just to the west of where you come out of that hidden bit, there's some quest target guys. You can talk to them even if you haven't got the quest active. Get back to the Temple of Osyr Rift, run into the Temple of Osyr. What I'll do here is work my way around in here, find the Watchers, get 3 Blood of the Watchers. You can farm it and get more and put the Blood of the Watchers in stash for Elite and Ultimate. I think I ended it before. I couldn't be bothered because I just wanted to get that Riftclaw Slicer before I leveled up so high that the level 21 wouldn't drop. Because they do start, the Riftclaw Slicers will drop at level 20. So if you go in there at level 35, you won't be getting the level 20 ones, you'll be getting the level 40 ones probably. That's what I think could happen. So try and get in there in the low 20s. So get this Blood of the Watchers quest finished while you're in the low 20s, and then you should be fine for getting a level 20 Riftclaw Slicer. Level 22, still low enough. Point in physique, and go on, put the points in the mastery. There you go. You can see that star. There's one of those Watchers there. He's a star on the mini map, and he will die, and he has a 100% drop chance for Blood of the Watchers, but only while the quest's active. So I've got 1 out of 3. Run on, find the next one. There's the next guy. Here he comes. Take him out, and he drops another Blood of the Watchers, so I've got 2. There is a shrine on the 2nd floor of this dungeon area. You might as well go and get the shrine while you're in here, or you'll just have to come back and get it. And I say don't Don't skimp on shrines. If you know where they are, go and get them. If you don't know where they are, look them up and go and get them. Because the devotion points massively buff your build if you put them in the right place. Take the shrine out. I'll put the first point, oh, his inventory's full again, put the first point into that Magi's foot. And like I said, work straight up to the skill. Don't populate ones that you don't need to. Just get up to that skill, stick it on Eye of Reckoning as soon as you can. I didn't want to fight the boss in here. I could have fought him, probably would have been fine, but I wanted to just get into that area. Right, so you go back here, you've got your Blood of the Watchers, you talk to this Alec guy or whatever, and you say, here's the Blood of the Watchers, what else do you want me to do? And he says you have to go and kill Galfang, and he opens this rift. This is where the Riftclaw Slicers spawn, the ones that have got the weapon that is essential for this build. I had to do this run about 3 or 4 times, so I will splice in later footage where I actually get the drop. I think you blink and you can see it happen. Yeah, I didn't get it the first run through. I had to go through here a few times. That was it then, I think. I think I swapped the later run. It's these boys that come up here. Here they come. Right, they're going to drop me a nice slicer with some really good affixes on it. Searing Riftclaw Slicer of Scorching. So they're both fire damage affixes. The prefix and suffix are both fire damage. That's just great. Whack that on. And what I don't do is I don't put a Searing Ember on because I want to put an enchanted flint on it, because the enchanted flint is the decent fire damage buff component. Have I got rid of it? Yeah, I've got rid of Searing Ember now, and I've put my movement skill on button 1. So I'm no longer using Searing Ember. I'm just doing the spinning attack, Eye of Reckoning, and that's it. So that's what level 22. So by level 22, the Eye of Reckoning fire damage build is kind of viable. Takes Galfang out pretty quickly. And it's not optimized. The skill's not leveled up fully, and I haven't got that enchanted flint on there yet. So you can hand that quest in, and the rift stays open, so don't worry about that. If you hand that quest in, that rift doesn't go away, it will stay there. So you can hand the quest in and progress on, and when you're another 10 levels higher, you can go back into that area and do a couple of runs through there and get a higher level Riftclaw Slicer if you want. I'm going to grab myself an enchanted flint now. It's a default item, it's always going to be there, so you'll always be able to craft that. I'm going to get a blueprint for it, stick it on there. It's a toggle skill, so be aware that it's a toggle skill. Flip to skill bar 2, put that on there as a toggle skill next to Iskandra's, turn it on. And that's now heavily buffed your fire damage. I leveled up, didn't I? Point in physique. Yeah, I'm rushing up to that. No, that's the one I want to put points in next, because it doesn't increase the energy use of the skill. Meanwhile, heading on into Act 2. You need some scrap and some money. I think it's 6 scrap. You should have 6 scrap by now. If not, you're going to have to either go and buy it or get it from somewhere. Repair that bridge, get over the bridge, and then start spinning around killing people. You might like Vanish. I don't know. I kind of... Vanish is alright, but the Krieg movement skill is very similar to Blitz, and I just prefer it for whatever reason. Right, they've dropped some fire damage shoulders, those cowboys. I'm going to go back and get that as soon as I get a chance to fiddle about with my inventory. I could have done this a bit quicker, couldn't I? Right, pick that up. Get tab 2 up in a sec just to check the damage, see if the damage goes up when I equip a different bit of gear. See, tab 2 shows you Eye of Reckoning, you swap the gear over, it shows the damage going up, so you stay with the one that's giving you higher damage. It's fairly straightforward. Yeah, I wanted to get the Krieg movement skill, so I temporarily nipped back into Forgotten Gods. I thought I'll go up and get the shrine at the top left, the top northwest corner of this area, and I also get friendly with the Krieg card. There you go. So I got reputation friendly with Krieg. Nip down here. I think I had a new medal, so I didn't have a movement skill at the time, but whether you have or haven't, just get this thing, get charge, There it is, stick it on there. So you've now got charge and not vanish. If you like vanish and prefer vanish, use vanish. I prefer charge, so I use charge. Kind of does exactly the same thing, it's just you remain visible on the screen when you're blitzing around with this. It's very much like the Soldier Skill Blitz, very similar. Level 25. Point in physique, and let's stick 3 points in there. There you go. Because that'll up the damage and it will not up the energy use. So yes, you can quite happily max that out. There's the shrine. Take these idiots out first. Yeah, an Eye of Reckoning is rapidly turning into the hilarious damage fest we hoped it would. Stick another point in him and we're one step closer to that Fisher skill. Quick summary of the build progress. You can see there's 12 points that I put into physique and 12 points I put into spirit. Probably just going to keep putting them into physique from now on. There's the Riftclaw Slicer. That's essential if you want to do this build. Leovinus Ring's cool and groovy. And there's a bunch of other stuff. None of that's particularly optimized. I haven't used loads of components, probably should have, but it's me, so that's what you have to deal with. There's 1 point in Iskandra's. And I've maxed out in a focus, and that's stopped there. I'm going to get up to Maven's Sphere of Protection for the damage absorption, and that's all you've got going on at the moment on Oathkeeper. Devotions, I went green, I got Scholars, I reclaimed the points as soon as I complete Scholars, complete Spider, and went straight down to do this, and I'm going to put that skill on Eye of Reckoning. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching this first part of the leveling guide, level 1 to 25. I'll get some more of this stuff out, but if you have a look at the level 60 build guide, I'll link it in the description, you can see where this would end up. I think that one, I didn't put the point in Iskandra's. I heavily recommend putting that point into Iskandra's, if only for the energy regen. Hope this was useful, and thank you very much for watching any of my stuff. If you want to ask anything in comments, go for it, and I'll catch you all in the next video.